Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monster of the Week, the Prince of Charming. I was chewing on an ice cube, and I thought it was going to go faster than that, and it didn't. So instead, I had to open like that.
The audience doesn't know that what happened immediately before. I said, I'm about to count down. And then I watched Spencer yoink an ice cube, and I was like, what's he doing? I was like,
I was going for a drink, and then the ice cube hit, and I went, ooh, crunchy ice cube. Not the right maneuver for kicking off a show. We jump to Charles Kevinson in deer form, running through the woods here. Roll me investigate a mystery, so you're gonna roll plus sharp to see if you can find the trail. Plus 1 forward on this because you've already broken this trail before.
Great. Cool. Yeah, I guess following the tracks that the others had, kind of like, I guess since there were like 3 people plus the cheerleader all running through here.
Charles turning into a full deer does mean that we have made canonical that where creatures in Spencer's world work like Twilight.
They do.
They work like Twilight. They're not like other ones. They're like Twilight, and that's hilarious.
You see a wolf in the woods? You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
That's a 7 total, but he's probably pushing past his limits at this point because he knows there's like a person in danger and really wants to find them and get them away from all this stuff. So he's going to be blowing a luck point, I think.
Ooh, finally, a luck point getting burned. That's what I like to see. Okay, so you are investigating here. You can ask 2 questions. I'm going to say you're reading a bad situation.
For read a bad situation.
Oh, read a bad situation on a 10 plus hold 3. You can ask 3 read a bad situation questions.
Oh, all right.
And remember, when you get a hold, you don't have to go You can grab one and put it in your pocket and say, I'm going to hold on to what's my best way out until I am where a victim is. You can hold those and sort of use them. It's up to Spencer a little bit because you can use them within the same scene. Mm-hmm. So it's really up to when the scene kind of comes to an end.
All right. I guess the first one, like probably the best way to protect the victims. I guess finding them might be the best way so far, but
I think your best question is going to be what's my best way in then.
That one,
because you do know that the best way to protect is to find. You find these tracks. There's a bunch of like broken branches and tossed over muddy sections from where Connor was tackled and the events transpired here. And you find a small set of tennis shoe tracks leading out deeper into the woods. So your best way in is going to be following those tracks, and you have a bead on them. You know where she went. Your deer vision is allowing you to see a little bit better at night than most of us would. But if you go into the road, better watch out. You're going to get hit by a car. So you do see your best way in. You find those tracks.
Yeah, so I guess following those for now. I guess I'll hold the other 2 for now.
You follow this trail, and it goes for quite a while. You're walking for about 15 minutes. Going deeper and deeper and deeper into these woods. Then you get to about 20 minutes. Still deeper. The moon getting higher in the sky. You've been walking for about 30 minutes, still following this trail. Every once in a while having to double back, follow the path, and say, okay, I found these tracks again. And you follow it for that good half hour, and suddenly, mid-stride, the footsteps disappear. They stop. You double around, you look left and right, backtrack, you follow, nothing. It's as if she's running, walking, and then mid-stride, footstep, nothing.
I guess any dangers we haven't noticed? I'd probably be a little on edge and prickly at this point, too.
Charles, you heard the town myths, the nursery tales that everybody else heard here. If anything, you heard them more growing up than anybody else. The Witch of the Woods is an ill omen, 1, a boogeyman, 2, and something that everybody in town at some level believes exists. And you are one of them, especially now. Knowing what you know, seeing what you've seen, meeting Jessica, having your own transformation take place, you are sure that the Witch of the Wood exists. And if the Witch of the Wood exists, the cabin exists. But nobody knows where that cabin is. You're walking, you're looking for that trail. You turn. Suddenly you see that the trail continues. You follow it on. And in front of you, illuminated from inside, an orange glow, the exterior, a cabin. A cabin that likely doesn't exist, or at least doesn't exist today, but nevertheless is before you. We see Thomas Puck, Connor Connors, and Jessica Fitch in the library. The sun has set. It is pretty purplish blue outside of the windows here. There are only a couple of lights on in this library. You've all been researching various tomes and scriptures as needed, and you had this interstition where William Graham was knocked unconscious through magics. You had some answers given about, but the creature that had been possessing him ended whatever the magic was upon him. And you are faced now with William Graham still unconscious in front of you, but no longer speaking to whatever it is inside of him.
Well, I mean, it's not good. That's for sure. I'm gonna put it in the negative column.
Thomas will take out his notebook and take notes on everything that was just said in the vague description and say,
I have a couple of friends and allies who I could try to reach out to, see if any of them know more than I do about this sort of goings on, but we're well outside of my field of expertise. I know a lot, but this is sort of a bird of different feathers than I am accustomed to.
Do you think he knows anything about it? Like, should I wake him up? I don't.
I think he knows.
Because why would he be here? He's like avoiding. Like he's here. He's been here since you talked to him last. That's like, how many hours is that?
I think it's one of two things. Either one, he does know, which I don't think seems particularly like William. I don't know. I get the sense that he'd have the half a mind to run out of town, head out, if he knew his father had some nefarious and evil plot. So my guess is he knows he doesn't feel great, but he's also in his mid-late teens, at a college that's in his hometown, and he probably thinks that he just has normal problems. He probably doesn't know that there is something more than a vague sense of malaise or malcontention, something far darker instead.
He might have seen his dad be up to something, or like he might know something about the historical society. I don't know if it's better to tell him. It might be better.
Well, I think the young man's involved either way.
All I know is if someone's trying to bring the end of the world, I need to cuff them and go to put handcuffs on them.
Connor, I don't think the young man being used as the intermediary for a dark ritual is the source of our ills.
I think that he is a vessel, and perhaps an unwilling one at that. I think those handcuffs are better served for his father than for the young man himself. Priority number one is to keep this young man just as safe as fine china in a cabinet. We need to make sure. I don't want him to get a cold. I don't want him to get the sniffles. Nothing. So, number one, if we had like one of those big inflatable hamster balls to put him in, that would be my choice. I have to be honest, I would like to help as much as possible. This young man probably does know a fair amount. I just wonder if the best way to help him is not to stick him on a Greyhound bus and send him to New York City and say, come back in 3 months.
That's what I mean. I think it might be best to tell him so that he doesn't, like, we can protect him, I think.
I mean, I think the boy deserves to know that something's going on.
I had a fair deal of disguise work. I could probably set up with not quite witness protection, but kind of hide in plain sight.
You have, I suppose, I mean, if you have some kind of proficiency in detail with prosthetics of some sort, if we could stick a big fake nose on him and dye his hair, that might not be a bad idea. We got a brief description of William Graham a while ago. Is he like
Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Freddie Prinze Jr. Okay, so we can't
legally distinct.
So sorry, that's right.
Not legally.
If you were to cast this character in a show, given our fictional image, he could be described as looking similar to Freddie Prinze Jr. by some people. So
young Freddie Prinze Jr., dark hair, etc.
So if we slap I mean, listen, if we shave his head and slap a pair of glasses on him, we're 2/3 of the way there. Put a leather jacket on him, and no one's gonna know him from Kane. I mean, this guy's gonna be practically invisible, especially
You
in
see
this
him
town.
start to stir a little bit as the
shit.
conversation carries on. He's not up yet.
I forget that that's how being unconscious works. Is that you're unconscious for 14 seconds and then you immediately sit back up. And I go, is our immediate story that you knocked him out with magical powers, or that he had some kind of minor stroke and we're trying to rouse him? And I will walk over to a little paper cup water dispenser and fill a little cup with water and walk over to him so that when he awakes, we can kind of give him this moment. What do we think? Tell him right away? Wait a little while?
Let's kind of ease into it. Let's see how he's feeling when he wakes up.
Ease into it is. And I will sort of sit him up a little bit and be like, hey, buddy, you took a tumble. And I'll reach over and pull his chair down as he is waking up.
Whoa, hey, whoa.
Your head feeling okay? And I'll like kind of gingerly touch the back of his head.
Yeah, you know what? I actually feel maybe a little bit better than normal. Yeah, I feel pretty good.
Oh,
What,
that's strange. I mean, you just sort of nodded off there. You took a little bit of a tumble out of your chair. Here's some water, and I'll hand him a little thing of water.
Ooh, thank you.
Take a sip. We
He
were
swooped
worried.
down. Yeah, I haven't been sleeping very well. I must have just dozed. You know how it is. Sorry about that. But micro nap probably helped me out.
I have to say, it painted a very strange scene. We were talking about Bible passages, and you done passed right out. I was starting to think that something creepy was going on. And I'll stand up and just sort of let that little seed germinate for a minute while I straighten out the notes that probably did get knocked over when he was magically knocked unconscious by Jessica.
Yeah, wind whipped around the space. They definitely did.
Why haven't
tumble and
you
fly.
been sleeping? What's wrong?
Just stress, college stress with the school reopening and all that. Hearing about the missing girl, it's just upsetting. That's all.
Yeah, you had just mentioned that your father was in charge of the historical society. I hear that is, but normally historical societies are little old ladies and maybe a couple of retirees talking about town and saving maps up at the community center or whatnot. I've heard that here it's a little bit more of the high rollers of town, a little bit more spacious than that. Is there any truth to that? I am a newcomer, and I'll look at Connor.
Yeah, they sort of fancy themselves as gentlemen explorers. It's they gather up old relics, and sometimes they travel abroad to grab things, bring them back. That's that's where the money comes in.
Have you ever been to
glad
a
it's-
meeting?
I've sat in on a couple of the meetings, but I'm not a member, so it's pretty limited.
What do they do in the meeting?
A bunch of boring stuff. They keep minutes. They talk about the next thing they're going to be going to do. They talk about upkeep of various items.
William,
Oh.
I have, rather unfortunate news for you, young man. Among these items, you didn't happen to see strange set of knives? Long obsidian blades like cut black glass, if you don't know what I mean, bound up on simple wooden handles?
Yeah, they essentially have like an armory of old weapon artifacts. But I think I saw a black blade.
You might want to
I don't think seen more than one.
I'll lead him to his chair, and Thomas will sort of take the time to. He just sort of goes, "Well, it's a strange coincidence. I had no idea that your father had any connection, but part of the reason that we're all traveling together, you heard that those two girls had unfortunately been killed. Well, I was at the site of one of those killings. That's what got me involved, and I watched. I'm not supposed to tell anybody this. The sheriff's still keeping it on the hush hush. I watched Mayor Flagg stab her to death with one of those knives. And, well, and I lift up my shirt, and I am covered in bandages around my midsection.
Oh my God!
He took a good couple of cuts at me himself. The sheriff had to hit him with a damn car to get him to stop.
That's insane. Are you all right? He's looking at the
No,
the bandage.
certainly not. I've been tasting.
Straight blood through.
I've been tasting pennies for about 2 hours now, but
Go.
and then I already went to the hospital. Am I gonna go back?
Home.
The president of the college also ended up being involved, William. I mean, I didn't know till you said it, but I'm starting to. The little red thread on that poster board in my mind is starting to connect a couple of pins that you're awfully close to. What kind of meetings are these people having?
Like I said, it's just the typical official meeting stuff. I never saw anything weird. It's a pretty small group. He's looking real nervous because he knows how small that group is.
They meet up on Sundays after church?
Yeah.
Same church?
Of course.
You go there as well.
Yeah.
Listen, William, I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable, but we are, I guess, 2/3 of the way deputized. I'm not sure that the sheriff could spell deputized, but he seems to know what it means enough to ask us to look into a couple of odds and ends, and Connor here is something of a specialist in the field. If you could tell us a little, it might tell us a lot. I mean, and I gestured to the Bible on the table. We've been finding some strange things.
I mean, I've never been a big fan of the church. It's, I don't know, elitist. It's for the, it's more of a country club church sort of deal. People that are from the town, that have always been in the town thing. A little fire and brimstone-y.
I'm gonna peek over at Connor and Jessica. What are your guys? How are you guys doing with this? Do either of you having any thoughts? I'm just trying to give them to tell us as much as I can. But what are you two sort of banging around in the old pinball machine?
I mean, Connor's just read up on cults, so he wants to look into how big this church is, what church it actually is, and really just how many followers there are in there and where it is. But he's pretty sure that this church is a cult, or maybe the after hours church.
Yeah, I mean, with where we are in history, I mean, I can't help but imagine that. I was about to say Waco, but Waco's 93. I think your mind is probably wandering to the Manson killings. These kinds of charisma killers are pretty huge in the 80s on the East Coast, at least. On the West Coast, at least. So, what about Jessica? I just want to make sure we're getting the whole room's thoughts as we're moving forward here.
I think at this point, Jessica is about to just kind of tell him everything a little bit. I know. I'm worried because I feel like he doesn't know anything more. And the only thing we can do next is go and investigate for ourselves. But I also am scared for him. So I want to tell him that he's going to, hey, brother, you're going to be a vessel. So, maybe stick with us or something.
All right. William, could I just have one moment? And I'm going to turn and huddle up with Connor and Jessica. Something that can only happen in an RPG.
I'll be you.
And I'm going to go, hey, guys, do we want to tell him? Because we can tell him and then prove it. And then I look at Connor and I go, you'll get there, buddy. What are we thinking? How do we want to take a stab at this? Because two of us can prove to some extent that there is some strangeness involved.
I say we tell him and we ask him, listen, I know this sounds crazy, but do you believe us? Does that sound right? I'll show you how I think it's right, but either way, maybe just to be safe, we could err on the side of pretending it's real, even if you don't believe it, you know?
Right. I'll turn and I go, Will!
Yeah.
This conversation's about to take a turn for the bizarre. I normally...
You didn't already?
No, not even close, Will. Not even in the neighborhood. Again, I find myself regularly put into a situation where I have to sort of do this too quickly to people. So, I have reason to believe that your father and these other people involved, whatever it is they're trying to do, I have reason to believe it is going to work. That whatever foul ritual they're going to try to enact involving this large familial Bible full of secrets is actually going to happen. I have seen more than my fair share of strange things, I must admit. William, when you first met me and I told you I was a simple reporter, I embellished upon the truth. I investigate paranormal findings and happenings all across this great nation of ours, and I have found a lot just about everywhere I've gone. And the more time I spend around Jessica and Connor, who are both very interesting people you should get to know better, the more I find myself delved further and deeper into this sort of ethereal strangeness. Now, I do have the means by which to prove it to you, but I figured I'd try an opening salvo and see if you've already decided that there is a good chance that I am correct. How you feeling in this moment, William?
I'm gonna need you to roll plus charm here so he doesn't just lose his mind and try and take off.
I felt good about if somebody said that to me, I'd be convinced. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna leave it there. I know exactly how this is gonna play out, and it is hilarious. I got an 8 + 1 9 mixed success, which means I have to prove it to this young gentleman.
I think I might have to go home.
William, think of a number.
All right.
Think of a number, any number. Go ahead.
He's thinking.
And I'm gonna roll my weird move sensitive. I got an 8, so I'm gonna get a hazy impression.
The first impression you get is, what excuse can I come up with to leave?
You shouldn't.
And then
Oh, go ahead.
what you then say, and he thinks, all right, and the number he thinks of doesn't exist. It's not a number.
Number 1, you shouldn't leave. Number 2, if it's an imaginary algebraic number, what you've done is a strange choice. Very difficult for me. It's a little hazy. I'm not too smart, William.
I believe you because of the first part. It was a 0. I thought that might get you.
It did. I saw a hazy impression of something that ought to be a number but wasn't.
An
So
impression of nothing.
that's where we are. I mean, if I do anything else, I look around. If I do anything else, I might crack the cement or something, and I don't want to do that. That might cause a big mess, but
I'd like to see that.
He turns towards Jessica,
Connor,
the
it
person
might
he
cause
knows,
damage in this place.
and like lifts his eyebrows up at Jessica, looking for some sort of confirmation, or for her to look confused too. She's like,
I say, I knew it was 0.
"Oh,
Jess just knows his favorite number is 0.
yeah, that's the most interesting one." Yeah, I'm not 1,000,000% with you, but
Good.
weird stuff's happening.
Yep,
I'll give you that.
you're 2/3 of the way there.
There's some dead people. I also give you that. You know a thing about black blades that my dad might be involved in that does exist, so I'm there. What can I do to help out?
Well,
That's where I come in. Well, we think that there's some nefarious events that may take place with you, so we're gonna hide you in plain sight. How do you feel about a little makeover?
I think variety is the spice of life.
you ever thought about frosted tips? It's popular right now.
Hey,
Is it?
I'll do a frosted tip if that's what it takes to help. Why do I need to be disguised?
So, we have a strong belief that you are an integral keystone point within an event that'll happen fairly soon. That involves all these black knives and killings. And if you become a part of this, everything kind of goes bad fast.
William, do any other young men or women accompany these meetings? Anybody else bring their kids?
No.
Yeah. Any of the rest of them even have kids?
No, I think they were more focused on business.
Yeah, kind of strange. Mayor of a nice southern town doesn't want a little nuclear family going to the same church to help him win the election. The president of the college doesn't have his own set of skin in the game, a young person going for free, and they invite just one. You'd think they'd want one for each of them, right? They're going to get older. Time's going to pass. That's one of the reasons that we think that maybe you are, against your will, tied up in whatever it is they've got going on. Because, William, just going off your own story, it seems like somebody cares about what your role in all of this is.
I'll put on the disguise.
Huge.
I will tell my parents that I'm going to go hang with a friend
Huge.
for a couple of days.
Cool.
With the college not being open.
Also, a great litmus test. If you say that and they immediately and unequivocally lose their shit, that will be a sign that we are headed in the right direction. Vis-a-vis clues.
Yeah. All right.
Are you part of like some debate team?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Why?
Yeah, we can set it up. You're compete a mock competition against rival school over on their side. We'll trip that way.
All right. Yeah.
What if we don't tell them?
We just don't tell them anything. They're going to start to get worried.
You gonna do? Call the sheriff?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, give it a shot. I think they're going to react negatively, and I'm going to have to be perfectly bold with you. I do think it is rather important that you lie about where you're going. And I think that's about the only other substantial factor in the whole situation.
Cool. Yeah, I'll call him. I'll tell him I'm staying with a friend, and we're good.
Thank you for taking this so graciously. I know this has been a strange day for you, but give us the benefit of the doubt, and I think that everybody will end this on teas and roses and fantastic nonsense rather than a bunch of terrible things. Now, this is where I have to breach an unfortunate topic, and I would like for us all to keep in the front of our minds that the president of the college tried to kidnap a young girl and that the mayor of town tried to stab me to death with a big knife before I bring it up. And I reach over and I take the newspaper from 1881 and I put it down and I say, so it's 1991 right now, and if a strange cult doing nefarious doings is going to do something, doesn't that seem like the kind of year they would do it in? Nice mirroring. And then I point at the newspaper for 1881. William, you did some fantastic research earlier, and I cannot help but notice a church awfully similar to the one you are describing, and I open the leaf fold, was burned down.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing creepy, supernatural, or otherwise strange is published in the paper, which tells me that that is one of the potential solutions to our little conundrum. I'm not saying we're gonna burn down the church in town. One of them, I assume there's 12. I'm just saying the last time something strange happened, it seems to have involved an awfully similar building. So I think the next thing we might want to do is mosey on over there. And William, I think it's somewhat up to you and somewhat up to what Connor thinks is best, given that he's the professional in the room. But I don't know if you should come along or get dropped off at some kind of milkshake stand so that you are as geographically far as possible from the location we are going. I suppose we'll have to make that decision on the way.
Sure. Yeah, what do you think? I mean, I'm fine either way. Connor?
I rather you be semi-close for
Maybe I'll-
protection.
You could
All
certainly,
right.
you could stay in the van. That would be permissible.
Yeah, there's a bed in there.
Getaway
Also,
driver. Got it.
Jessica, and I hand her the newspaper, and I don't say anything. I just point to the part where it says that the witch was there. And then I turn back to the conversation and go, so it seems like you're coming 2/3 of the way with us either way, so I guess might be about time to sojourn. Also, we should update the sheriff on some potential issues and otherwise strangeness. Does your dad have a radio in the house, the kind that you turn to a specific frequency and talk into a receiver on? Do you remember?
He has a study that I'm not allowed in. He might in there.
Damn, William. I mean, you have a real creepy setup going on. I gotta be real with you. Remarkable that you are such a normal, well-adjusted young man such as you are. Good job on that. All right, and I'll turn to Connor and Jessica, and I'll go, we can radio the sheriff. If we know the frequency, someone else might. So that's the only risk. Anything we call into him, there's a chance someone else is going to hear it. So we're going to have to be careful. I think if we need him in a pinch, we got no other option. But in general, I would rather communicate to him in a much more closed-off way. I'm really regretting not buying a cell phone. I thought it was kind of a scam. I didn't think they were going to go anywhere. But today would have gone by like a breeze if I'd had something. And that's how I feel about this.
Yeah, it would have, but also, how many people do you know that own cell phones? I don't own one.
Well, you can
Like
call a
three people.
landline from a cell phone, Connor.
What
You can?
landline
Back
was
then?
I near?
What?
What landline was I near?
I mean, well, no, but the sheriff's office, I assume, has a landline on it somewhere. Some secretary's number that I could dial up. He probably doesn't have a secretary. We simply must go. And Thomas will stand up and start to head for the door.
As Thomas starts to head for the door, we zoom out very slightly through a window by the library, a candlelight illuminating it. And by the doors, these double-wide swing-out doors, we see, crouched down, peering through the window, Jim Duggins, the groundskeeper. Jim Duggins, you've heard basically everything Thomas Puck, Connor Connors, Jessica Fitch, and William Graham have been saying this entire time. You've seen magic be cast upon a man. You've seen a dark spirit come forth and speak. You saw all of this happening. What's Jim's feel right now?
It's true. Everything I knew, everything I've been recording for years, it's just, and honestly, at that point, Jim doesn't realize that he's muttering loudly to himself, and now they're actually hearing him, and you just start hearing, heavy breathing.
I'll look over to Connor Connors and go, "You hear that?" Sort of muttering between my teeth.
He hears that.
An animal, the most dangerous animal. Man! And I'll run for the door, thinking that we're going to
Yeah, you
bust through the
sprint.
door and see some jabroni.
The door swings open.
It's open. Jim's waiting for the first person to step out.
Thomas Puck is the first one through the door. You kick open the double doors and spin.
So, boom, grabs it. First person you grab is Thomas Puck. Puts him up against the walls and just starts interrogating. He's like, "Who are you? What are you doing here? Are you the one who ate my purple flowers, you?"
Thomas has +0 tough, and so is immediately thrown back against the wall, pinned up against it, and is like, "What the? Somebody ate your purple cornflowers?"
And then
Don't you be
Connors
lying.
emerges slightly behind Thomas. You see a blur. What are you wearing, Jim? What's the fit?
He is wearing raggedy old clothes that he's still worn to this day from the war that he's kept, like beige color, and then just what should have been like blue overalls that are denim, but they've been so browned out.
Connor, you see the ghost of a veteran in front of you tackling Thomas Puck into the wall.
I'm being attacked by some kind of cryptid.
Well, that's interesting.
And he like his hair is receded like all the way to the top. And it's
Some kind of guardian of the
thin
woods is
hair.
assaulting me.
I also work here, so I know who he is.
Yes.
I grab back his collar and go, "Hey, Jim, let's let go of our friend here. He did not eat nor stomp on any of your flowers, I guarantee it."
Hey, I'll slide down the wall a little bit as I look up and go, "Sam, Jim, I had nothing to do with the consumption of your beautiful purple flowers, although I believe I may have some association with the gentleman who did. We are investigating, you're never going to believe this, a completely unrelated manner of strangeness to your own. I do not know how to break this to you. It seems as if you've heard plenty already." I'll look around and I'll go, I'll look at Connor and I'll be like, I get the feeling if he was a member of poor Mr. William's strangeness, that I would have died just now and probably caught a knife to the neck and not a push up against a wall. So I trust the man somewhat implicitly. So I take it you've overheard the bulk of our conversation, Jim?
It sounds like everything I've been tracking for a long time. What's going on here?
A kindred spirit of sorts. And for the sake of podcasting, I will give Jim the download. Just on a couple of details that he's missing. I'm not gonna like dox Charles super hard, but I will imply that we'll probably see him later. If we can get another hand on the boat, Thomas is super stoked to have another paranormal person in the room that we don't need to persuade to believe us. If this person's already signed up, there's no reason to look that particular gift horse in the mouth. And so he gives him a couple of the details that he's missing. And as we sort of wrap up, Thomas is like, "So we were actually just about to go, and safe to be assumed that wherever we are going to go, Charles will soon be behind. So if you wanted to speak to him about this issue concerning your flowers, that might be the way to do it. And also, who knows? The destruction of your flowers could be part of some large, wide, sweeping conspiracy to unbeautify the town in general, brought on by these foul besmirchers." And I'll look at William and nod solemnly so that he also nods. I'll like...
Jim uses as his suspicious mind, just reading into them, and then just kind of realize, if this allows me to live the rest of my days in peace with my art and my people, I'll help you out.
Okay, Jim.
Let's settle this now.
Thank you so much.
He takes away the brass knuckle from his right arm that he was going to use.
Awesome.
Have
Fantastic.
you always worn that?
Jim, the fact that you have that on a college campus is just remarkable.
Have you seen the pie capitals around this campus? Always destroying everything here.
Thomas will turn to Connor and Jessica and be like, "We should maybe swing by a pharmacist and pick him up some kind of antipsychotic. But other than that, I think we're actually ready to get on the road. I hope Charles catches up. Did we make plans with him to meet back here? I don't remember."
We could walk in.
I think that he said he wasn't going to be gone more than a couple of hours. After a couple of hours had passed, you would meet up again.
And it has been a few hours, right?
It has been more than 2 hours.
Oh, so we're about to cut back in time to what is going on with Charles. Good to know. So
And
it's
as you say so, we cut back in time to what Charles is up to. Charles, you are staring at the cabin. There's light flickering from inside, a soft orange glow of a fireplace. It's not through windows, not glass windows at least, but through a shuttered window instead. That one of them is swinging and creaking open and closed, rattling against the wall. There's a door in front of you. You're not sure if it's locked or unlocked, but you are surrounded by dark woods cast in full moonlight.
I guess the first thing I'll probably have to do is the pure drive. Like, since the witch is like connected to my curse, facing her seems like an unwarranted kind of finalization or something to it. So he's probably gonna have to fight the urge to flee. So that's like an act under pressure roll, or
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what your goal
flat
is.
10. Yeah,
A flat
to keep
10.
to
You
keep
do
that
what you set out
fear.
to do.
Great. So like he's like imagining this curse, like control and like dark magic that's transformed him and what else it can do. But he's like, he knows that one of the cheerleaders is here that needs to be found and rescued. So he tries to cool his nerves and like proceed onwards. Hoof step by hoof step, he kind of like approaches the cabin and tries to peer in.
You approach. So you've got that one window with the swinging shutter. Another one is closed, and you've got the door in front of you. What are you going to try and peer through?
I guess the shuttered window and see if I can sort of nudge it open with my antler or something.
Go ahead and hit me with a plus sharp.
Oh wow, double ones. So that's a 4 total.
You go up to try and peer in through this shade, but every time you're about to get a good look, the pie you cut, that slice you're getting, is just like an edge of the cabin. You make out essentially nothing. You don't see what's inside. You don't see any items, any people. You don't hear anything. The creak is too loud to pick up any sound. If you want to find more, you're gonna have to go in.
All right, I will. I guess kind of like give a sigh, and as I sigh, and I like back raises up, my like back feet, I guess, like expand more as they turn more into human, and pull out the ribbon from Jessica and their like cheerleader kind of crew, wrap it kind of like around my hand a little bit, and proceed up the steps.
Are you fully human right now, or are you
Yeah, back to
a
human.
deer wolf, a were-deer?
Back to like human. I guess
Full
there's, like,
human.
with that luck point burnt, I guess like the horns on my head are probably a little bit more pointed. So like my cap is like got some like holes in it.
Yeah.
It's like barely holding on.
Stefan, I think this might be the best role-playing choice of all time.
that
To
the
turn
two
into a deer.
That the two forms as you burn luck notch closer to being
Yeah.
the middle of an Animorphs cover is so choice.
So good. So,
Yeah.
you transform and you approach this door.
Yeah.
You reach out to grab the handle. You knock.
Yeah, I'll knock it like pardon in there?
A scream rings out. Shocked scream. And you hear like clattering and falling and things tumbling onto the ground. The sound of like books hitting hardwood.
Emily, is that you in there? Jessica sent me to make sure you're safe and all that, and help out with the horrible people that have been chasing you.
Yeah, yes. She gets up
Good.
and she like runs towards the door and swings it open. And you see Emily Harris.
Huh.
She's wearing her cheerleader's outfit. It is tattered at this point, ripped to shreds through the thorns and the brambles, but it's her. She looks up at you. She has a raven black hair, very pale skin, and she looks at you and she says, "Mr. Kevinson?"
Yeah. Hey, group of us kind of on campus have been trying to investigate mysteries. Ended up hearing the president talk about sacrificing one of the other cheerleaders, and so the sheriff's got him in a cell now, at least.
Oh, thank God. He was chasing me. Jesus. He almost had me. But then I found this place and I think I had lost him, so he's grabbed. Great. That's great.
Yeah. Have you been here for long then? I was following your tracks and they kind of vanished for a bit, and then suddenly I just saw this hut, and it seems
Yeah,
like it's kind of connected to some of the broader kind of mystical tales of the town and all that.
As you bring up the hut and you like look back behind her, you see that there is a fireplace that has a roaring fire going. There's a rocking chair, hand built very clearly. There are shelves and shelves of glass bottles tied together, twigs and leaves, things like that here and there. Fairly scant, all things considered, but you do make out those details as you do a quick peer past Emily. And Emily
Right.
says, yeah, I've been here for a little while. I figured maybe somebody would come and find me. I ran so far into the woods, I didn't know if I'd be able to get back.
Yeah, well, there's a pretty decent path, I guess, that I was able to find. I guess we can get out of here, find a safer spot. Campus should be safe for you now, I think. And we've got a crew that can help keep you, kind of watch your back and all that.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah.
This is Jessica's ribbon, too, from the cheerleading squad. Hopefully you can return it to her once we get back to.
And you see that her hair has fallen out, and she takes that and she does tie her own hair up. She said, I'll get it back to her. Can we go?
Yeah. Let's just walk this way and see if we can get back into the woods.
Oh, absolutely. And she like grabs your arm as you walk her out.
And I will turn back as we're like descending the steps, sort of nod towards the hut and be like, "Thank you?" question mark kind of thing, and then kind of try to scurry away quickly.
Yeah, you scurry away, and you get to the edge of the woods through this clearing where this cabin is built. You step through, and after about 20 feet of walking, you feel a weight that you didn't even register pull off of you. You turn back and you see that the cabin is not there. And with that, we are going to end tonight's session.